Greetings, everyone, and happy Fresh Friday. This is Akunna, and we are back with another episode. So happy to be here with you all. I'm honored to be present with you every Friday, or the Fridays that we can come on, to talk about some things that will help you on your health and wellness journey. So very shortly, we will be joined by Dr. Tal, and then we'll get into the conversation. Feel free to let us know in the comments, how is your week going so far? Is everything going well? Did you take some time for self? Did you get some time to rest? Let us know in the comments. And greetings, Dr. Tal.
Hey, Akunna, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you today?
Doing great. Doing very well. I'm trying to figure out which herb to talk about today. I know we did a horsetail, but I may have to revisit some of these.
Yeah, I don't remember doing horsetail.
Let's see.
Did we talk about Devil's Claw yet?
I think we did, but I can go over some of these over
Okay.
again, I guess. We did catnip. We did catnip, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ooh, what's this necklace that you're wearing?
Oh, this is carnelian, citrine.
Oh, wow.
And hematite in it.
That's nice.
Keeps you grounded. It's a kind of a mood grounding stone.
Nice. Okay. I like how it's like pyramid shape.
Yeah, it's really it's like fused together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah, we'll do horsetail, and then I may just talk about some other stuff. But
not just the herbs, it's the clothes too.
Yeah, there's a linen on today. Today's Friday, so I try to wear some green today.
Yeah.
So,
I got
days of the week are the colors. So yeah, Friday's green, Saturday is purple, Sunday's orange, Monday's blue, Tuesday's red, Wednesday's yellow, and Thursday's purple, Saturday is indigo.
Okay.
So yeah, the horsetail, I may have covered this before, but anyway, this is good for any type of ligament tears, tendon tears, or bone fractures or breaks. It's great for the teeth, the enamel. It's high in silica, so it helps with the hardening of the bone so it doesn't break. And also good for trace minerals. So there's a lot of pesticides and a lot of stuff on the food, of course, today. So this has monatomic gold in it, so which helps with a lot of the pesticides that we deal with when we eat. So if you're having a lot of foods that you're not sure that's good for you, make sure you take some horsetail, because that trace mineral of gold will help with work as an antioxidant.
Okay.
So,
okay. I have to ask about the name. Why did they call it horsetail?
Well, actually, the base of your spine is called the Akunna spina, which translates to horsetail.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of funny. So it kind of alludes to the fact that it's good for your spine, or good for your bones in general.
Okay.
So, they used to give this along with the alfalfa. They would get this to horse, because this is really called shade grass. So it grows like in the grass, kind of like. So the horses would eat this as well, along with the alfalfa, and it helped keep them energized as well. But I guess because when it looks like in nature, it's like the tail of a horse.
Yeah.
It grows in the grass, so that's probably why they get the name from it. So horse is be like Philip. Philip means lover of horses. The name Philip.
Interesting.
So, and then Sophia means wisdom. So when you put the words together, you get Philip Sophia, which gets philosophy.
Okay.
Right. So you'd be like, why does Philip mean the lover of horses? What's that got to do with philosophy? Well, the part of the brain that looks like a horse would be the hippocampus, which is what they call a hippo is what they call a water horse. And a water horse in space, they would call that the Pegasus. So you have a astronomy, because the hippocampus is part of your memory.
Right.
So you have a brain memory, then you have a galactic memory as well that could be used as a memory card to store information on. So it's like a supercomputer. You can download or upload information from the Pegasus star constellation and retrieve information from your ancestors, or you can upload information to it if you want to. So, which makes one wise.
I bet.
So it makes one philosophical or philosophia, you see. So, like, when you see, for example, what they call the Eye of Horu. All right. So that's three things put together. We think it's just one eye, but the eye is like you have the human eye, but you have that little part that goes down. That's the falcon's shadow part that goes up there. Then the little curl thing is actually the aardvark or anteater's tongue.
Really?
It's funny, right? Because aardvarks represents they dig holes at night a lot to get the ants. And a lot of times in ancient times people would go for a walk at night and they would fall into these holes. So they said, we're going to represent Seth. Seth is an aardvark, or he's an anteater. He's the one who is the uncle of Horu, or the brother of Asar. So he's represented as an aardvark. So at night, the lower self represents Seth, because you're more inclined to fall into the holes of your lower self at night.
Okay, I see.
So you must rise above it with Horu, which is that falcon part there that goes down right here, the tongue of the aardvark and the eye of the human. So what it represents is the truth of your eye, because the eye was you have Haru's eye was plucked out by Set. So Jehudi had to put his eye back into his skull. You see, so that's what you call the third eye. But it's not a physical eye. It's no longer a physical eye at that point. It becomes an eye that has to be found. The only way it can be found is through the rigor of academics.
Wow.
So your third eye becomes that which you seek through your rigor of studying, and you regain back your third eye.
Wow. I had no idea. I
people just think it's the eye of Haru, but it's a story behind it.
Right. I thought it was just a fancy looking eye, or like because of the makeup that they used to do that.
Yeah, that swing part is the tongue.
Wow.
They think it's just the curl of the eye. Indention. It's not. That's not that indention. It's not.
Wow. That's good.
Not sure how we got to this topic, but
I don't know, but I like it.
So yes, your third eye is hidden in the pages of rigor of academics and studying and just that type of thing. So, but yeah, so the horsetail is good for you retrieving back that, your hippocampus, your memory, because everything is just based off cognition. Cognition, and then if you have a strong cognition, then you can recog it. They call that recognizing.
Oh, okay.
Cog. You see the word cog in there, right? So to be able to be highly cognitive means that I have the ability to take phenomena and then retrieve it back to recog it. If I have trouble with that, then I have bad memory.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
So we call it recognizing or recognizing. You see. So, so even like fasting helps with the hippocampus, because what it does, it creates like a proliferation on the hippocampus, which actually allows it to work better, your memory. So that's stimulated by a hormone that makes you hungry. Or do you feel that when your stomach growl? That's called ghrelin. And ghrelin is the hormone that makes your stomach growl.
Okay.
Yeah, ghrelin. And ghrelin is what proliferates the hippocampus, but actually improves one's memory. So you actually, your memory works better on an empty stomach. So, but that's just some, some fun facts there. But yeah,
I wish I would have known that when I was in school, because we used to take tests right after lunch and stuff.
Yeah, students tend to do better on tests before lunch, and the test scores go down after lunchtime. Also, the weather changes the test scores too. So, a lot of factors can affect how test scores are.
Hold on. The weather? How?
Yeah. So usually, when it's a little bit cloudier or rainier outside, the students tend to perform a little bit better than they do when it's a sunny day, because they tend to want to, they want to get out of the class. They want to do something, so their mind is not present in the moment. So it causes a shift of the barometric pressure. The barometric pressure is going to get heavier in the afternoon. So that barometric pressure causes, especially when it rains, it makes the atmosphere more dense. So a lot of times it's hard to retrieve thought, because thought is more like an air molecule. You're trying to move.
Yeah.
So the barometric pressure can cause the thought to become heavier, which is hard to pick it back up to recog it. You see, you can't recog it because of the weight of it, the barometric pressure, which is why when you wake up in the morning, the barometric pressure is a lot lighter, which causes a man to kind of have an erection in the morning, and types of thing back. They call it morning wood, right? So it's like the lighter pressure on the atmosphere. So if someone was taking blood pressure medicine or a diabetic medicine, it's better for them to take it in the morning time than in the evening, because it's more effective in the morning time. So they would, if you were actually into holistic diabetic cure, then you would actually study the barometric pressure. But they don't teach that in school, because it's not really holistic. But the pressure, that's why people have different blood pressures throughout the day too, because of the pressure of the atmosphere. So it's the weight of the things. So when these two weights hit each other, you have hot air up here and cold air down here. That's what you call a hurricane or tornado. Those two air mixing together. So it affects the weather and everything too. But people become more sluggish when it's hot, because the minerals become more dense, so it causes slug, and it causes the joints to become more irritated. Some people can run track and they may get more tendonitis in the knee because of the rain and pressure like that. So there's a lot of things that affect the weather in your joints. People can tell it's going to rain based off the joints starting to act a certain way. It's like, it's about to rain outside, you see, because the joints may act. Because that's all based off physics there. So
yeah, I had a friend that was like that. She could always predict when it was coming.
Yeah, and the animals know it too. That's what they move in certain directions based off the weather and the air and the currents. We used to be in tune with those things, but now we're not as in tune, because a lot of this is based off the diet that we're eating causes that crystal behind your nose called the magnetite crystal. You have a crystal right behind your nose, which actually shrinks over time because of the diet. What do we have? That's your internal compass.
Really? Behind our nose?
Right behind your nose. It's called magnetite.
Is it? It's on both sides?
It's one of them. It's just one behind the nose. It's like a crystal just sitting there. But through generation of poor eating habits and pollution, and it's gotten smaller and smaller. So now we need a GPS system to get home. Right. But you take a dog and take him 7 blocks up the street, he'll find his way back home. But see, we have that same ability, but now we get our orientations off.
Right.
You see.
Is there, and I was just saying to a friend yesterday, even just nature, being able to look at the stars and the sky and know what's going on there. Now everything is we depend on another human being to tell us what things are, to tell us what time of the day it is, or, all of that. And that's just crazy because.
Well, see, a lot of it is because we're not really properly breastfed, and we're not properly breastfed. So what happens is, see, the head is too big to get through the mother's cervix if it was to continue to grow in its full size, or the size that it's supposed to be. So the rest of the body's developed to a certain degree in the mother's womb, but it says it takes 3 more years for the brain and the side of the skull to develop. It takes 3 more years outside the womb after it's born. So during that time is when the child's supposed to be still breastfed. But now, if you keep in mind that cow's milk, a cow in proportion, his brain in proportion to his body,
it's tiny.
Tiny, right? So what happens is it causes the human brain to shrink or not reach its full capacity when you switch from mother's milk to cow's milk. So what happens is that child, when his full genius potential would never be actualized. So what I'm saying is, when most of us are walking around with undeveloped full potential brains. I know it sounds insulting, but your genius is started from just being on the right diet as a child.
Right.
Your brain doesn't have enough material that it needs to grow. So if a cow's brain in proportion to his weight is very small, then your anatomy starts to take on that same ratio.
Yeah.
You see, so it causes you not to be able to develop the true brain capacity. Anyone who's been breastfed for a long time are truly geniuses.
Yeah.
Are true geniuses in every aspect of the word.
With okay, I have a question first. As far as breastfeeding, how long would you say that a child should be breastfed?
Really, it's supposed to be 36 months.
3 years, right? Okay, I had to
36 months. You know,
really?
some of us don't make it past 4 months. You know?
Right.
But to keep that in mind, you want to make sure that if you know you can't make it past a certain time, do your best to keep the diet of that child as healthy as possible.
Yeah.
But there's no true replacement for mother's milk. But
right.
You know, do the best you can. But you really want to make sure that 36 months is key. That's really where you want to be at when it comes to just developing the brain properly.
And during that time, or like within the first 3 years, would you say that a child's primary source of food should be like fruit?
Ideally, yes.
Yeah.
Fruit, anything that mimics the ratio of the mother's milk. So flaxseed milk or oat milk, something like that. That'd be a lot more efficient, a lot better for the child outside of the mother's milk. But remember, the child is going to, based off the rhythm that it sucks on the mother's breast, is going to actually change the ratio to retrieve certain amino acids that it's deficient in. So it may have a different pulsation that it sucks at. So it's going to, if it's low in vitamin B, it'll have a different pulse at it, on the mother's breast. So it's telling the mother what it needs. That's why it's so essential that process is in place as much as possible.
Yeah, I also heard that the baby's tongue, or it like almost gives back to the mother in order to signal to her body
exactly
that's
what it needs.
the same thing that you're saying, right? That
exactly.
And that it
same thing for us.
The bottle, right?
What's that?
That can't happen with the bottle.
Not at all. The only way you can kind of jump over that is we don't do it anymore, but you have to use the restroom in nature. And nature will actually produce the fruits and vegetables that are deficient of whatever you are to yield its crop. We're on these toilet stools today, these porcelain thrones, and all this type of urinating.
And then flushing
advanced
it
technology
down
stuff, but
pipes to go somewhere. It's so weird. I feel like it's so backwards.
Your nature finds your deficiency, and then it produces what you're deficient
in. So it would be key to do it like around where you're. I'm not saying like go pee.
Yeah. I mean, you would do it in the area. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's going through a recycling process anyway. So, you can transmit messages that way. That's a way of communicating too. But I don't want to get into that. It's called metamorphic transmutation. But that's another way of transmitting information from one continent to another continent by urinating. But that's another way of.
We'll get more into that. We'll say that for the podcast. Wow. Okay. So I think I already forgot my second message because we were talking about children and the breastfeeding and. Oh, okay. So you know how the pineal gland will calcify because of the same reason why our, what is this called?
Magnetite.
Magnetite will shrink. Just how we can help do some certain things to decalcify. Is there anything to help us grow that back, or once it gets smaller, there's nothing to do?
You talking about the magnetite crystal?
Yes.
Yeah, you can help activate it more. It probably won't grow in a lifetime, but you can help it more activated just by keeping your body as clean as possible and finding back your third eye type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, yeah, you just want to make sure that you keep calcification at a minimum. A lot of that stuff's coming from oxidative stress. The main thing is oxygen. We're eating for oxygen, really. And so, like I said, if someone works out very extensively and they don't have the capacity to hold that oxygen in their body, because when you work out hard, you breathe harder. Then it causes oxidative stress, which causes oxidation, which is rust. So it can essentially cause someone to actually age quicker if they work out on a deficient diet. People think they can outwork a bad diet. You can't outwork a bad diet. Some people get this whole thing about, I want to eat a balanced diet. But the Western world is using the word balanced diet to mean that I'm going to balance out a hot dog with a banana. That's balance, right? I don't get I'm going to eat something good. I'm going to eat something bad. I'm going to eat something good. That's a balanced diet. No, you want a nutrient-rich diet. That's what you want. You don't want a balanced diet. Balance with what? Balance some ice cream with an apple?
Right. No, that's really what people
That's
try
what
to
they
do.
mean.
Or they'll eat that and then go work out. And when I say that, I'm guilty of doing that sometimes.
Well, I have a balanced diet. This stuff is so silly to me. So, but you want a nutrient-rich diet. That's what you want. You see, and get away from these balance words. That don't mean anything. So, yeah, I got some folks coming.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. I didn't even see the time. All right. Well, I think we have. Oh, look. It's time. It's time. Thank you so much, Dr. Tal, and thank you to all who tuned in. Again, this is Fresh Friday. We are open until 3 p.m. today, so come on in for some amazing, delicious, and nutritious meals and beverages, plus any of the herbs that we have talked about. We have several Fresh Friday videos from before, so feel free to look through and learn something from there. And also comment something new that you learned today. Thank you again.
Appreciate the comments. I'll try to write a book here soon. People have been asking about it, so. But I appreciate everybody in the comment section. We do see your comments.
Yes.
Thanks, Tracy. Thanks, Bernice, Desiree. Yeah, thanks everybody in the comments. So I appreciate you guys.
Greetings.
All right.
And gratitude. Have a good one.
All right, take care. All right, bye.